Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are finally here at the last Read and React episode for the Harry Potter series with Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Now we are going to be doing the second half of this book. I've said it 1,000 times. They should have split everything into two halves starting with the fourth one, but it's like beating a dead fish. It's not gonna make a difference. I said this in the last video, but I do genuinely enjoy, even though I thought that the movie was just meh, because like I said, I do enjoy this. I actually do enjoy that film. I was just really tired. I'm just really tired. I'm ready to finish this. But I have always enjoyed the first, part 1 better than part 2. And that's because there's a lot of things in part 2 that I don't like. Because I love, and I mean I love, every little bitty detail that happens once you get back to Hogwarts in this book. I love it all. All of it. I cannot say the same for this film. There are things in this film that, for some reason, they decided to improve upon. No. I don't like it. I don't like it. That being said, I don't understand why David Yates... I can say that it started with the fourth movie, but honestly, it really, really started with the David Yates films. I don't understand how they went with Order of the Phoenix being as actually pretty good as it is to the rest of these, because it's like every single time when they approach the climax and the climax starts to happen, it up. Why? Stop trying to change it. It's fine the way that it is. We will go through everything that I don't like in this film about the Battle of Hogwarts. And I mean everything. Every little thing. But without any further ado, let's just get into part 2. See, why in the hell are you showing me this again? Like, you showed this to me at the end of the last movie. Why the hell am I rewatching this? I don't understand. If you were gonna show this to me at the beginning of this film again, why even bother to put it in the last one? It's so stupid. Oh, God.
I'm already irritated.
These Dementors look really good. I like how it starts off with Hogwarts because, like, that's the main focus of this section. So I do like that.
I need to talk to the goblin.
See, now in the book, there is definitely more of a discussion between Hallows and Horcruxes. Like I said, in the last one, there is a discussion about it, but there's more so, because, like, this is an important part of Harry. Harry physically has to choose which one is more important. Getting all the Horcruxes and defeating Voldemort, or going after the Hallows and becoming the Master of Death. This is such a crucial moment in the books, and especially later whenever he's talking to Dumbledore at King's Cross. Dumbledore tells Harry, like, you were the better man. You went after the Horcruxes instead of the Hallows. That's what makes you the right person to be able to hold all of them. It's a big moment, and it's not really, hit home as much as it should be.
She kept asking me what else we'd taken. I bet you anything there's a Horcrux in there, another piece of his soul. Let's find it, kill it, and then we're one step closer to killing him.
See, that whole discussion is completely fine. It's very valid. It's just that the way in which Harry knows which object is the Horcrux makes me mad. Y'all know that I don't like it. I don't like the way this movie deals with these Horcruxes. Oh, R.I.P. John Hurt.
We need to know if it's safe to use.
First off, he was supposed to ask Ollivander if he can fix his wand.
I'll have more to say on that later.
Madame Lestrange.
Good morning.
I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Travers, I guess, because Travers is technically supposed to be there, but it's fine. It's okay that he's not. It's no big deal. Everything about Gringotts is actually pretty good. It's a pretty long action sequence, or at least it feels a little long, but that's what happens in the book. It's completely fine. I mean, I think there may be like one or two things out of place, but on the whole, it's good.
Accio Horcrux.
They keep doing that in the book too, and I'm just like, bruh, stop. I guarantee you it does. Every time they do it, it's because it's like there's something else is the reason why it doesn't work. But I'm telling you, I just guarantee you can't actually do that to a Horcrux. Stop! No! You cannot hear the Horcrux. You know it is the cup, the little goblet cup, because you saw it in the pensive with Hepzibah Smith. But no, they cut that out, so you just have to, like, feel what it is. It's so stupid. I cannot stand it. It's the only thing I can't stand about this section.
We can't just stand here. Who's got an idea?
You're the brilliant one.
Technically, Harry has this idea, but it's as if, like, Harry or Ron are just not intelligent at all. It would have been great if Ron had the idea. You know, that would have been... Yes!
That was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I honestly, now that I think about it, in the book, Harry had that idea. In the movie, Hermione's got it because she's the smart one. Give it to Ron. Man, you've degraded Ron so much in this entire series, you might as well should have just given it to him. Like, here you go. You can be smart for once. Like, that would have been brilliant if Ron had the idea to do that, but missed opportunity right there.
What makes you think you can believe anything my brother told you? In all the time you knew him, did he ever mention my name?
Nope.
Did he ever mention hers?
Why should he?
Keep secrets, you tell me.
But there's been no exploration into Dumbledore's past in either one of these films. Yeah, you have Grindelwald because he's important to the wand, but there's no exploration between Grindelwald and Dumbledore's past, or Dumbledore's past whatsoever with his family.
I'm not interested in what happened between you and your brother.
Apparently nobody does. Filmmakers didn't either because they're like, F it, bye. It's actually a really big deal that Dumbledore didn't tell Harry any of this. Harry feels betrayed because he thought he knew Dumbledore and then he didn't, and then he comes to realize that, you know, it was his past. He didn't really need to know that.
That's your sister Ariana, isn't it? She died very young, didn't she?
Yeah, because she's an Obscurus, and she exploded. Nobody, I don't think anybody killed her. I'm pretty sure she killed herself. All that has to come out with is the Fantastic Beasts series, which just...
Neville. Look, you look
Like hell, I reckon.
No, he looks...
Fine.
Get the word out to Remus and the others that Harry's back.
Okay. It's not killing.
You could use your coin like you're supposed to.
The report. Lightning has struck. I repeat,
then.
lightning has struck.
Lightning has struck. And you know what else has struck? A lightning round!
Alright, now this is going to be a lightning round of what I do and do not like out of the Battle of Hogwarts. All of this is going to be leading up from right here, right now, as Harry enters into the Room of Requirement, all the way until Snape's death. Alright, Dean, my guy, I know you're not supposed to be here, and they cut you out of the first part, but that's completely fine. Your existence here is totally okay. Luna, why are you here? Somebody please answer me the question as to why Luna is here, because she's supposed to be at Shell Cottage. She is not supposed to be here right now. The Death Eaters would know that she would be here and she would be put in Azkaban because of everything that her father has been doing. You're telling me that she escaped the Malfoy house just to be put back here in danger before Harry shows up. Cho, what are you doing here? You graduated last year. Why are you here? All of the discussion around the diadem is absolutely completely fine and valid. It doesn't really bother me. The only thing that annoys me about Luna not taking Harry into Ravenclaw Tower is that you don't get sassy Minerva McGonagall. And that's not even to mention the fact that if Harry finally uses the Cruciatus curse, Cruciatus? Wow, that's a word that I can't say. He uses the curse on the Carrows, and because the Carrows spat at McGonagall's face, and Harry just cannot take the disrespect for her, so you don't get that either. Ginny, what are you doing here? You were supposed to be at Aunt Muriel's house. Why are the children where they're not supposed to be? Can someone please tell me what the these stairs are doing here? Like, this is not how Hogwarts is laid out. What is with these stairs? I don't like it. Why are they coming in from the outside? They were in the Room of Requirement. Why the are they coming in from outside? And where are they going? None of this makes any sense. What is with these stairs? I need you to know that I did not edit that clip whatsoever. I do not understand the purpose of these stairs. Why were the kids outside? What is with this continuity? I don't like this. I do not like that they just come waltzing in here. Everyone is supposed to be in the room of requirement, and there's definitely supposed to be way more of them. This actually looks really sad. I'm sorry, but it does. Though I do like this line.
Tell them how it happened that night. Tell them how you looked him in the eye. A man who trusted you and killed him.
Yeah, I can't lie. I actually really do like that line because Harry wholeheartedly believes that Snape killed Dumbledore, and it's brilliant. And see, that's the thing is like half of these stuff, it's fine, and the other half is just so stupid. I understand gathering everybody into the Great Hall and whatnot, but this is absolutely bonkers. It baffles me. As much as I really enjoy Minerva and Snape's fight and how she jumps in front of Harry, it's nice, but it's a hell of a lot better in the book. Because in the book, it's McGonagall, Sprout, and Flitwick all trying to get Snape. And then they do this in the corridor, and no one really is around. And so whenever he finally jumps out of the window, Slughorn rushes in there, and he's like, oh no, what happened? What happened? And McGonagall goes, our headmaster is taking a short break. These books are so much funnier than these movies, and it's actually really sad. The other thing about not having everybody show up in the room of requirement after all this mess happens with where the order's at is that Percy comes through the door, and it's actually very upsetting that you don't have that reconciliation in this movie. I don't even think he is at the battle. If he is, it's very, very much just shoved underneath the rug, and it's actually very, very sad because it's a big deal that he's there. The family is finally reunited, and then Fred dies. This part is actually, it's okay. The thing is it's like, yes, it's Ginny and all of his friends and stuff, and they all start to go and get him. Whereas in the book, all of the Gryffindors, all the Hufflepuffs, and all the Ravenclaws get their asses up out of their tables, and they go and they stand in front of him. You know, as badass as McGonagall is, I'm very upset that Kingsley doesn't start to take point after this. See, this part right here is dumb, wherever Ron and Hermione are just talking to him right here. This is so unnecessary. In the book, Ron and Hermione just vanish because they know what they need to do and they just go and do it. They do not need to have this conversation. I don't need to know this information. It's totally fine that they come out of nowhere and be like, oh yeah, by the way, this is what happens. Like, they could have just left. This conversation is so stupid. They did not need to be here.
Let me get this straight, Professor. You're
This
actually
is the
giving us
best
permission
thing.
to do this?
That is correct, Longbottom.
To blow it up? Boom!
Boom! Why don't you confer with Mr. Finnegan? As I recall, he has a particular proclivity for pyrotechnics.
I can bring it down.
Honestly, this is the best thing that they have ever done. The fact that they gave Seamus this little bitty tiny character moment, or at least this little character development of him being able to blow stuff up all the time with potions, and the payoff is so brilliant that I can never be mad at that. They still have this part with Luna in it, and Luna is just so powerful, so wonderful in this part. I absolutely just love it. Because in the book, it takes Harry a hot minute to figure it out. He ends up going to Nick and figuring out about who the Ravenclaw ghost is. Just Luna being friends with her is absolutely wonderful because it makes sense that Luna would be friends with the ghost who's weird because Luna is weird, and it's wonderful. I absolutely love this scene. I love Kelly MacDonald. She's absolutely wonderful in this role. Everything that she does with this entire scene right here is just brilliant.
If you have to ask, you'll never know. If you know, you need only ask.
I absolutely love this riddle because I don't think you get it in the book, because Harry finally remembers where he's seen the tiara at because he put it on a bust of this man whenever he was hiding the prince's book in the Half-Blood Prince. But since you don't get any of that in the film and all that's botched anyway, they have to figure out how to do it better, and I actually really enjoyed this just a little bit better. I just absolutely love this scene with this riddle, and it finally clicks. See, Kingsley taking point is just so nice. I wish he had taken point for the whole thing, but it's okay, I guess. I do like that it's split between him and McGonagall, though, because McGonagall's technically headmistress at this point, and then he's basically the Minister of Magic, or at least the backup leader of the Order of the Phoenix, and it's brilliant. And now I think right here, George is in the purple, Fred is in the like green color, I believe. So we'll have to double check that whenever he dies. This is just weird. It was weird in the books. It's weird in the movies. Yeah, Harry talks in his sleep, but Ron should not be able to do this at all. I honestly don't even know if we really needed to see this, because we don't see it in the book, and so it's okay that we get to see it, but it's what happens afterwards that I don't like. I absolutely cannot stand this kiss. It's unwarranted. It's out of place. It's so weird. Like, I'm glad that they're together. It's been a long time coming, and I have been waiting for this moment, and it really just makes me entirely mad that it's not the way that it is in the book, because in the book, Hermione has this whole thing about spew and saving all the house elves and all this mess, and Ron has this brilliant idea. He's like, well, we should probably get the house elves out of the kitchens and warn them and whatnot. And Harry's like, oh, what, you want to get them to fight? And he goes, no, we need to get them to leave because we don't want 100 other little Dobbies around here, do we? Because Dobby's dead. And then Hermione just drops everything in her hands and runs and attacks his face. Like, I needed that. I needed that level of love, and I don't get it. I get this instead.
Bleh.
Is it me, or did Tonks just pop out of nowhere? Because I went back through and now I can't find where she first shows up. If she did show up, then I'm pretty sure she hugged him at one point. I just don't remember it. I don't remember seeing that. Now she's just popped out of nowhere. Also, after seeing this deleted scene, I'm gonna go cry now. I do love that they are showing that the Elder Wand is breaking because it can't work for him correctly. That's very subtle. Well, it's not subtle. It's like right there in your face, but it's actually very nice. I do enjoy that. I like the visuals of all of the protections falling down and then just to hit it on the head. I absolutely love this chase scene. The battle has officially started and it's kicked off with Neville. This is just absolutely brilliant. I could never not love this part right here. It even makes it a little bit better because you think Neville actually dies. Every time I see it, I get my heart stops just a little bit because I think he's dead. But then I remember, oh yeah, he's got to take care of the snake. Wow, it is so dark, I cannot see. It is almost as if I'm watching the Battle of Winterfell from season 8 of Game of Thrones. Thank you for that. I guess this was the precursor, wasn't it? Now, I do actually like the battle parts. This shit right here is so cool. All this weird magic and stuff, it is so nice. It's like anything that doesn't have to involve directly Harry that we know of, it's so brilliant and it's so well put together. I absolutely love it. That right there is the most real thing out of this entire film. Neville's love or lust for Luna and then saying that they could probably both be dead. This kiss is just
Bleh.
You can't apparate in or out of Hogwarts, you ninny. I am so tired of this. I am so tired. I mean, I guess we could say that all of the protections were taken down, but I guarantee you that one was not. It's such a big deal. And you can't have Crabbe because the actor for Crabbe got, arrested. So it's all fine. Amazing. And they were all supposed to be under the cloak at this point, but they've thrown the cloak out completely, which is a shame, but here we are. Oh yeah, and then Hagrid bursts in through the top floors and there's a giant fight. But even though you don't get any of the giant fights, you still get a lot of the stuff that does happen, like the giants do come, you got the big ass spiders that pop out. I can understand like not getting everything in the battle particularly right, so it's okay. The only one thing right here that upsets me is I love the way that it is in the book. Like Aberforth doing this, it is visually stunning because it does take you back to the way that it is in The Prisoner of Azkaban. But in the book, all of the members of the DA come up and Luna's like, Harry, you gotta think of a happy thought. And Harry cannot think of a single happy thought. And all of them are producing all their Patronuses and they're bouncing everywhere. Luna's just like, come on, Harry, you have to think of a happy thought. You have to think of something happy. We're all here because Harry's been seeing all these dead people. Fred's dead. He thinks Hagrid may have died. And Luna's like, don't worry, we're all still here. We're all here. You've got to think of something happy. Oh, I wish it was in the movie. All of this happens in the Shrieking Shack instead of this, and that's fine. The only thing that I have to criticize about this not taking place in the Shrieking Shack is the trio are on their way to the Whomping Willow to get to the Shrieking Shack through the pass. Ron has this moment where he's like,
Oh man, we can't get past the Whomping Willow. If only we had Crookshanks.
and Hermione says,
Crookshanks? Ron, are you a wizard or not?
and it's just this amazing callback to the first book when she was trying to light a fire for the deadly. I can't even get it. She's trying to light a fire for the devil's snare, and Ron's like, "Are you a witch or not? Just use your wand." It's great. It's a great callback. Fred deserved better. Like, look, he's still moving around And you're gonna tell me that that's his death? Are you kidding me? That is supposed to be his death. No. No. No! I am not having it. Because Fred does not even look dead, and the fighting has stopped. And you're telling me that Fred died right there. No. He deserves better. I am just so mad. Even in the book, he dies from an explosion. It is a bit irritating, but just what happens after it about Percy and Ron and them having to hide his body to make sure that he was safe, it's just...
Oh!
What's even more annoying is I can't even tell what I'm looking at. Is this Fred? Is this George? I'm pretty sure that the coat is green rather than purple, which means it is Fred. But if I, as an audience member, cannot tell which twin dies, that's really annoying. Not even to mention that he is still moving. That means he died off screen, which is so much worse.
Now, this entire chapter is literally you going scene by scene of seeing every single one of Snape's memories. I will give David Yates credit, or his editing team credit, for like these montages. I don't mind the montages. The montages are actually pretty good. They're actually part of my favorite things. I just don't like that he's at the Potter house. Creatively, whenever they're talking about James, you know, you see James first, and then they talk about Lily, and you see Lily, and it all breaks down. But creatively, it is a nice touch. I will say creatively, it's really nice. I just don't like it. I don't like that he's there, because he's not supposed to be there. I would have much preferred the way that it is in the book, if it happened the way that I said it should have in the last one. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. He's gonna sit there and he's gonna hug the body of a dead woman, which is fine, he can do that. But a baby's over there crying his eyes out, and then Sirius and Hagrid are supposed to show up. And neither one of them got there in time before this and saw that, because you know Sirius is the one who got to the house first. He got to the house before he went after Peter, which means that he would have seen Snape there. He's the one that found them first. I think it's stupid, I don't like it. I don't like that he was there. I got beef with Snape because, yeah, he's kind of redeemed at the end because he did love Lily and whatnot, but he was still a dick. He was a dick to Harry. He was not a very nice person to people in general. Unrequited love sucks, but it's not an excuse. I also don't like that he talks to them because he never would have talked to them because he didn't want them to know. He wanted to go out there by himself because he knew that if he saw Ron and Hermione, he would not have been able to go out there and do what he needed to do. I don't like it. I hate this goodbye because it's so stupid. It would have been more effective if he went and didn't tell them and then he died, and then it would have made it so much worse because he didn't get to say goodbye. That
was the point.
Don't like this. Because in the book, he doesn't, and it's better that way. The only person that he talks to when he's on his way to the forest is Neville. Because Neville was also, could have been the quote-unquote chosen one or whatever. And he's also supposed to be under the invisibility cloak, because it's supposed to be important that he has the invisibility cloak and the stone, and he's the master of the wand. At one point, he's supposed to have all three of them, but they never use the cloak when they're supposed to. You know, that's the second time he's tried to touch her, and he hasn't been able to. God, why am I crying?
And he won't be able to see you.
No. We're here, you see.
I always love that because it's like a callback to the third movie when Sirius says, "The ones who love us never really leave us. They're always right here." And it's just,
Stay close to me.
Always.
And I love that they added that, because that's not a line in the book. I absolutely love the fact that whenever they decided to do with Voldemort, because this is supposed to be a portion of Voldemort's soul. Like, in the book, it's always said that this is something out of our reach. This is something out of our control. Like, we physically cannot help the thing that's there. It's never really described in too much detail as to what it is. But this right here actually shows that, you know, this is a part of Voldemort's soul. So it's very nice for it to actually take the form of the Voldemort from the Goblet of Fire before he's dumped into the cauldron. I love it. I think that is brilliant. This scene is almost entirely redundant. There's nothing of any importance or substance from this scene in this film, because they don't talk about the blood link between Harry and Voldemort, because Voldemort used Harry's blood to come back to life, which means that Harry's actually not dead. Voldemort is tied to Harry as a life source. They don't really discuss what exactly happens with the Elder Wand and all that stuff, and Harry doesn't actually come to the conclusion that he is the master of the Elder Wand. He doesn't know. He hasn't figured that out, so it's really weird whenever he comes back and tells Voldemort that the wand will never work for him. It's like, well, how do you know that? And then you don't get Dumbledore's past, which they've pretty much omitted this entire time, so that's fine, I guess. And there's no discussion about the Hallows and all that stuff, which also comes into Dumbledore's past. So that's fine. They really did need to talk about the blood link and the wands. Other than that, I find that there's no substance to this conversation. Oh, Helen McCrory. Oh, for a second there, I forgot that she was dead. Oh, my heart goes out to Damian Lewis. The only thing that makes me upset that Neville has the sorting hat right now is that hat does not stick to his head and catch a blaze. I mean, he turns out to be fine because none of Voldemort's spells work, but still. That hat is supposed to be on his head, and he is supposed to be on fire. Did he just move that giant with his hand? Are you force sensitive? Since when did he become a Jedi?
Or a Sith.
Harry Potter! He's dead! No! No! Silence!
I don't like that it's Ginny. McGonagall is supposed to be the one that screams, and it hits real hard because of everything that happens in the Battle of Hogwarts and how much McGonagall actually cares about Harry. I just think it's weird. I feel like if it was going to be Ginny, it could have been a little bit better. Rather than going after her, she could have just collapsed. I have to fault Bonnie Wright on that one. It could have been performed a hell of a lot better. Unless if that was the direction that she was given, then I blame David Yates. This is the weirdest shit I've ever seen. It's so weird. Even Dean is, he's like, what the It's so weird.
We lost Harry tonight. He's still with us. In here.
This just goes to show that he was a really good head of the DA while Harry wasn't there. He was a really good number 2. And he could have been the chosen one. And honestly, I think that both of them technically were. Because he does destroy a Horcrux. So, I do enjoy a lot of this second battle better than the first half. Mainly because I actually visually enjoy what's going on between Harry and Voldemort the entire time. I actually do like that. There's just one thing I don't like.
The only thing that I need to add here is that I accidentally forgot to talk about is that Creature is a badass. After everybody comes back and they start the battle all over again, Creature starts leading the house elves and starts fighting for his master, and it's so nice. And then you have family members of DA members and a bunch of other people come and fight on Harry's side, and it's just wonderful. There's supposed to be a lot more people there in this second turnaround, which makes it even better whenever the Death Eaters are starting to leave.
Like I said, a lot of this is visually cool. Like, I like it when they get really weird with magic. It's really awesome.
Not my daughter, you bitch!
I love how the Weasleys are just, like, standing there. They're just standing in the background. Why are you just standing there? There's a war on. As much as I love this, I love it in the book, and I love it here, I do think that it is a missed opportunity that Neville isn't the one who finished off Bellatrix. I think it's a missed opportunity. And I blame that on the book.
When you told Professor Snape that one was failing you, it will always pay.
Why don't you tell him why?
Come on, Tom. Let's finish this the way we started.
I love that line, and I love how he just, like, takes him down. I just wish he had finished his argument and, like, explanation, because you don't really get that. I don't like that Nagini dusts. It's as if she got Thanos. Mainly because it's a preamble to the
worst
decision in this entire film. Because I hate this. This is a disservice. Because he is supposed to keel over with a thud on the ground like any mortal man. Not some supernatural dusting. I cannot stand it. That right there to me is like the biggest disservice to all of the books. I will never not love Neville and Luna together. Like, I know that neither one of them, like, Joe came out and said that neither one of them, like, ended up with each other, but just thinking that they could have had something, love that.
Why didn't it work for him? The Elder Wand.
It answered to somebody else. When he killed Snape, he thought the wand would become his. But the thing is, the wand never belonged to Snape. It was Draco who disarmed Dumbledore that night in the astronomy tower. Until the other night when I disarmed Draco.
So that means
it's mine.
I really don't like this explanation dump. Like, he really should have explained it to Voldemort more, because at that point, he's pretty much become like Azula by the end of Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I wish that all of his explanation was just, like I said, I wish that a lot of things at the end of this book happened in the film the way that they do in the book. And they don't. I understand that it fixes a lot of plot holes. Rather than just putting it in Dumbledore's grave and it dying with Harry, I understand that you break it. But couldn't you have fixed your own wand first? Now Harry's just wandless. The most amazing thing that the Elder Wand does is it fixes other wands that have broken. Now, with the whole epilogue, a lot of people really love it, a lot of people really hate it. It never really bothered me. I liked to get that little bit of, I think the weirdest thing has to be the naming of Albus Severus Potter. It's just really weird. I didn't really like it then, and I definitely don't like it now. I didn't say this earlier because I don't think I was really paying attention, but Draco deserved like a redemption arc. He really did. In the book, in the film could have fixed that and been like, oh, let's give Draco a redemption arc. That would have been lovely, because you don't get that in the book. But no, he just like walks off. I don't know. It's just weird now, because like you see how Harry is at the end of this book, like with this epilogue, and then that awful play came out and kind of with Harry. There's like some theories behind how exactly Harry actually does have a relationship with his son, but I can't enjoy this epilogue now knowing that what I know about the stupid continuation of the story that happens after this. I don't like it. It would have been nice if it just said all was well. That would have been great. I think that would have made the touch perfect, but that's a bit loud. That's it. We finished it. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, the second half of this book. We have finally finished this read and react, and it feels kind of nice to finally have finished it. I know, I'm telling you, I really just didn't want to finish it because I was tired. Half-Blood Prince made me exhausted. And pandemic depression made me exhausted. Hopefully everything's getting back on track now, but Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, adaptation-wise, like, it is a fun movie to watch. I actually think I had a little bit more fun watching this one than the last one. Maybe because I was just really tired. I said that I didn't flip-flop, but I feel like I do flip-flop, because I think I find, like, this more entertaining because of all the action stuff. Like I said, but I also enjoy the slow pacing, even if I get a little tired during it. It's very difficult to compare them as standalones, but I will say for this second half, I want to give it a 6. Yeah, I'm gonna give Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 a 6. Yeah, this is going to be a 6.
To wrap all this up, we can now do a definitive ranking of all the Harry Potter movies based on their adaptations of the books from worst to best. Coming in at the bottom of the barrel is The Half-Blood Prince. Y'all know how I feel about this movie, so I don't feel like wasting more of my time on it than I need to. This film is everything I don't like about the book to movie adaptations. It completely misses the point of the books. It's oversaturated, the mystery comes out of left field, and I feel dumber for having watched it. 4 out of 10, this is abysmal. Number 7 is The Goblet of Fire. A lot of fans put this at the bottom of their list, and I fully understand why. There's no Quidditch World Cup, the dragon scene is too long, and there is no Sphinx. The Barty Crouch Jr. mystery is already considered to be complex and convoluted by most fans of the books, and the film just botches everything entirely. I'd say it could have saved the franchise if the Polyjuice Potion retcon wasn't so annoying, but who am I kidding? I'm only giving this a 5 out of 10 because I can at least find some enjoyment when I watch this film as compared to the other one. And number 6 is The Chamber of Secrets. Now, I'm pleasantly surprised by this film on this rewatch. I usually don't like it because I don't care for the book, but it's actually fine. I don't mind it so much. I always felt like this book was kind of misplaced and useless until you add it to the grander scheme of things, and then it's actually super important to the later books because it sets up the Horcruxes and is filled with a lot of foreshadowing. However much fun the movie is, the book still bores me to death. At least with the film, I can watch some amazing adult actors do their thing. 6 out of 10, I'm trying not to fall asleep. Jointly at number 4, I'm giving it to Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. I don't think these films should be rated separately, so I'm not gonna. The first part of this two-parter is really well adapted. It reminds me the most of the tight screenplay from Order of the Phoenix, but it's bogged down by its slower pacing, and all the sense of logic in this world just goes out the window. Part 2, on the other hand, is action-packed to the max, and it's visually stunning, but the changes from the Battle of Hogwarts irritates me to no end. Stop trying to rewrite the ends of these books. 6.5 out of 10 because I'm being nice. Number 3 is Order of the Phoenix. This is how an adaptation of an 800-page book is done well. This book is already too long and sometimes it overstays its welcome, but this film does not. The longest book has the shortest film, which is fine, but the script is too tightly written. An extra 15 to 20 minutes would have probably made this film the best adaptation out of the bunch. It's the only film not written by Steve Kloves, so go figure. 7 out of 10, wasted potential. Second place is Prisoner of Azkaban. This film has no breaks. Alfonso Cuarón is a genius. You get the sense from the films going forward from this one are going to be darker, and that the darkness is here to stay. This is a film that shows you how to be set in a dark universe without having to oversaturate anything to where all I can see is a black screen. Cuarón's direction and visual style makes this film feel the most like I'm in the Wizarding World. It's so immersive and I love it. Now, it still has its problems and sadly things are cut, but I can't even be mad because the movie is so well paced and magical that I don't even care. 7 out of 10, I love it. And the number 1 adaptation is The Sorcerer's Stone, but you already knew that. This film is as close to a perfect adaptation as any of these films are ever going to be. Christopher Columbus makes heartfelt, fun family movies, and that's exactly what this is and exactly what the first book needed when being adapted to the screen. All debates about the title aside, this movie is solid. The score slaps, it's got weird early 2000s CGI, but this is a classic and no one can tell me otherwise. 8 out of 10. Iconic.
There you have it. We have finally ranked all of these films in the Harry Potter series for this Read and React, and we're finished. Going forward, guys, I'm gonna give a little bit of a pause on these Read and Reacts, mainly because I have been reading a lot, but none of them have been books that I would do a Read and React to. The Read and React films that I had on my list, it's been a while since I've actually read them now, and so I actually need to reread some of these books and take pretty detailed notes. We'll probably come back sometime in the fall. Depends on how my reading habits at the time are going. Until next week, where I will be doing a complete new reaction. Bye-bye!